Hello and welcome back to 30 Days to Learn Photoshop. This is day 19, opening and importing files. My name is Ben Gribbin, and in this lesson we are going to learn how to open files in Photoshop. So now we are in Photoshop, we're going to show you how to open up files. There are three ways you can do it. You can do two from within the Photoshop program, or you can do it this way. If you go into Finder or onto the Microsoft My Computer window, find a PSD file if you've got one on your computer, and we can go ahead, right click on it, and we can open it. We can also select open with and do it with the Photoshop program, and also we can just double click it and it will open up in Photoshop. So that's one way you can open up files. Another option is we can double click on the background of the actual Photoshop pane itself and then find one of our PSD files and go ahead and open that up. Then we can also use File and Open just like any other program. So we can go Command 0 or Control 0 depending on what operating system you're on, and just go ahead and open up a PSD or JPEG file or whatever file you want to open. Now PSD files are Photoshop's native file format. What they do is allow you to save out any Photoshop path, any shape, any filter, smart object, anything that you've applied, the layers, everything, it retains them all, so you can just go back, open it up later and continue working on it. Whereas JPEGs and other picture formats will open up as a flat graphic. You can also use the File and Open Recent menu. This will open up any recent files you've been working on. It saves up to 10. So let's just say you wanted to open up the second to last project you're on, you could go ahead and open that using that window, which is very, very useful. If we want to open up multiple documents, then go ahead and just open it up. A file won't close unless you tell it to do so. So we can have several files open at once, and you'll see our pane along here, along the top of the document window, fills up with the different file names. So if you want to switch between them, all you need to do is click on that file's name. If you click on it and drag it, you can reposition it in the order that they come, and also if you drag it downwards, it then puts it into its own window. So if, for example, you could be working on this file and then be referencing that one at the same time, like so. Another way to help you wrangle once you get more than one window open is this option here. This box is able to help you format them and reposition them. So clicking on this button here, which is consolidate all, puts them all back into viewing one at a time with the names along the top. But there's numerous options. We can have them in a view like this. So we could say have a photograph here that we're referencing and working on something here, or we could open them as columns, which is sometimes handy. We can open them up as rows. We can open them 2 by 2, 3 up, 3 rows. There's various options. Now if you want to blow them all out into their own windows, click on Float All Windows, and then you can use this to reposition them, put them wherever you want on your screen. Just consolidate them all again. You can do a new window, which is just duplicating that file there. You can use this menu to go to actual pixels and fit on screen, which is quite handy, particularly when you're working on really large documents. And you can use match zoom. So if we go into 3 up, and let's say we have 3 of the same graphics open, which we don't obviously, we can go zoom right in onto this one, click onto match zoom, and all of them zoom into the same level. And also there's the option to match zoom and location, or match location. If we were working on the same document, it would actually be able to take us to the exact same view here and here. If you want to import scan files, depending on the scanner you've got, that will be found underneath either its own program, which will import a JPEG, which you can then open in Photoshop, or some of them actually have a driver that will install it under this menu, the import menu, and then it might say Epson Twain or Canon scanner. You can click on that and use it to import it directly into Photoshop. One thing you'll notice when you're opening photograph files, let's just open up the picture we restored. The background is always locked. It's got the little padlock icon, and you need to double click to unlock it and make a new layer with the same stuff in. It does it all automatically for you by double clicking on there, giving it a name and setting it as OK. So that unlocks it, so then you can paint on it. Otherwise, as before, we were unable to directly edit it. We can't really resize it because it's locked. There you go, you can see you get an error because it's been locked. If you work between Photoshop files, let's say Adobe Illustrator or InDesign, you can actually open up files within Photoshop for use. So we've saved an Illustrator file here, a native Illustrator file .ai. So let's double click onto that, open it up like so, and we get this import options. Now it will convert it to a PDF technically, so it's not directly editable. But if you were wanting to use this within Photoshop, that should be fine. You can set resolution, bit depth that we talked about when we were making new documents, and you can also set the size. Press OK, that'll import it. We can then edit it, can delete sections using the marquee tool, we can drag it round, we can resize it. We could drop this into one of our other files. Let's open up this file, put them onto column mode, and we can literally drop them across. Now the camera and the monitor have got slightly different colour profiles, but that's okay. If we drop it in, you can see we've then dropped in that element into there. Another way you can do that is by literally dragging the layer, dropping it into the file. Again, we're getting the error about the different colour profiles, and that file's gone into there. And then also you can copy and paste between Photoshop files. So if you press Command A, and you can just do a direct copy, Command C or Control C, and then Command V or Control V, press OK, that will paste it in. However, if you've got more than two layers, or more than one layer, it won't actually copy all the layers, it'll copy the current layer on. So in order to copy multiple layers, you need to do Shift Command C, I believe it's Control Shift and C, and that does a copy merged, which is all of the layers within that document. So let's just show you that. If we create a new layer, we'll just leave the name off. Just do some little paintings on here, just don't need to be anything important. Then we do Command A to select everything, and then we can do copy merge, which is Shift Command and C or Control Shift and C, and then we can paste that as normal, Command V or Command Shift and C, and that drops in the text that we had in the other file, and also all of these brush marks. Those are editable in Photoshop. They've been consolidated into one layer, and we're actually able to open up many different files within Photoshop. You can open up AI files, PDF files, all kinds of different file formats. So in today's lesson we have learned how to open up files in Photoshop, how to organize documents, and how we can open up multiple files, and those with other formats than native Photoshop files. And our task for the lesson is to open up a JPEG picture file with Photoshop, and then you will need to unlock the layer as we discussed. And next time on 30 Days to Learn Photoshop, we'll be looking at saving and exporting files. Thanks for listening.